Hello everyone, my name is the Radman and welcome to Infinifactory Zone 6. Now, as you can see, all of these are done. The reason for that is kind of infuriating though. For about the past 2 or 3 days I've had problems with shadow play, which is what I use to record everything. Actually recording everything, and I recorded this episode, and when I went to look for it, it was completely gone. But I recorded about an hour of test footage amongst various different games, and it worked out, so I'm hoping this will work. So what we have here is you start out with just these holes in the ground, and I'm just going to show you my solutions and explain them because some of these do take quite a while to build, and I'm gonna try and keep this episode short, and next episode will be a regular episode again if this episode works, which of course I don't know because Shadowplay's been acting really weird. But anyway, so what you have is that machine in there and these 3 holes in the ground. Now if we do this, as you can see, little mole people come up out of it, and they will move around, which is why there's these barriers on all sides of them. And as you can see, I'm tapping all 3 wells right now, and then we bring them over here, and as you can see, they're being made into food. Let me tell you, I'm really mad that the original recording got lost, because this was actually something I had been thinking would happen, but I was actually shocked when I realized exactly what that machine did, because before I hadn't taken a close look at what we were actually making, so I only knew that we had to put them through this machine, and then I was like, oh. But yeah, I'm just using a basic accumulator to sort those out, and now we have the Relaxant Formula 13. This is a slightly more complex one. So what happens is you start off with this big tree. Everything beyond this conveyor belt is added, by the way, on that. We also start off with this empty jar looking thing, and what looks like the top of the empty jar looking thing. And then if we come over here, you can see this machine, this machine and this block are already here. What this is as this billboard explains, when you drop 3 of those leaves off the tree in here, it fills it up. And so you need one of the caps, which is assembled over there, and then you need a block of wood, and obviously you have to have it filled. So what happens is we come over here and I trim off those 3 blocks, and then it comes forward, and then it is allowed to fall until let's see, I can't hit T at the right time. Okay, so when this block gets here, this will be pushed off so that this conveyor belt will start carrying it this way, but by this time this will fall down because there will be nothing supporting this. So see, so it falls down, and then it leaves this block and this block, and this block gets shredded. And then it takes the leaf blocks and puts them into this mulcherator type thing, which basically just has 3 holes in it that go all the way through, and the rest of them shred whatever goes into them. And then there's just an eviscerator here to take off the top block, so I didn't have to worry about putting 3 blocks through at a time. And this is set up so that it will get filled. As you can see, now it's full, and then when the wood comes by, this goes up above. And I can't remember why there's a welder here. Oh, there's a welder here because originally I was trying to weld these 2 together up here, but it didn't work. So yeah, it just goes up, falls down, and then gets detected and sent off. And yeah, one note, if you build a machine like I built mine, you might have to adjust the conveyor belt slightly, because they can be a little tricky to get all the timings right. Now, this is one of my, oh, this isn't one of my least favorite. This was actually one that's pretty easy. So what you have to do is, if you remember back a few episodes ago, we had to replace this and the cannon on these, they're called drones. And so now we're actually building them instead of just repairing them. And over here comes out the body blocks of it. Out here comes the tank treads. Out here comes the barrel, and out here comes the top. Now, as you can see, I have an accumulator that holds 3 of each of these. So what happens is, over here, these are made. When a new batch comes out, the old one gets pushed off, and then it gets rotated and brought in here, and then when it's welded, it's levitated, and this activates the next step of all the processes, because when the tank treads are ready, all this has to be out of the way, and then there's a blocker here that gets activated by that, moves out of the way, this rotates it, and then these 3 tracks make sure that it's actually aligned. So I'll show you. It gets rotated, and now it's 2 blocks off, so it slides in 2 blocks, and yeah, that's how easy that is. And sorry I'm not going into too much detail. It's just that for the sake of time, and also that if you understand Infinifactory, you can understand exactly how this works. Oh, I also forgot, there's a levitator over here, just to make sure that's high enough. Now we go to meat product type 101, which is very interesting. Now we get this huge wall of flesh and this tiny part. So I decided what I was going to do was to absolutely destroy this big wall and just keep this part, these 5 in a row. Now what I didn't realize was you have these 2 machines here, and I thought that one of them produced red and one of them produced white, but actually it's the color of the block. I'll just show you. Come on, see, there goes some white, and here's a mix of red and white, and I just simply shred off all the white, and then I run it through, and it goes over here, and then there's an accumulator to make sure that it goes to all of them at the same rate. And yeah, that's about it. This just gets pushed over. These just shred everything that comes through. And yeah, there's just a huge wall of eviscerators. And if I wanted to make this more efficient, I could put a conveyor belt here, like I'll show you. I could just have a conveyor belt that runs to the eviscerators. But you don't need to. It would just make, either way you're gonna have to wait 1 full rotation before these are ready. And yeah. Should be getting close to done. And yeah, I didn't have 2 holes in this wall originally, but I added a 3rd because, or a 2nd, because I wanted to make it so that these would get done around the same time. Because as you can see, they got done at the same time. There used to be quite a big delay. And now we go to the most fun one, the aerial combat shuttle. Boy, is this an annoying one. So what you have to do is, we'll come back here. It's another machine we repaired with eviscerators, except now it's got this part on it. It never had that when we repaired them before. But yeah, so you have to make this. Now, over here is where the two components for the cab come from. I simply weld two of them together, and then I stack one on top of the other, and then I have this bank that stores them, since this process has quite a few steps that have to build up quite a few parts. So out here comes the main body. You need 12 of them to make one, and out here comes the cannon part. As you can see, they both rotate so they're facing forward. That way when it gets stuff assembled on it, it's facing mostly the right direction. These build up 3 of these because what I do is this makes a slab, they get welded together, and then they go around, and they're rotated also. And so then they come over here, and I'm trying to, oh, there's the sensor. So it senses when it comes by, and it temporarily lets them fall, but other than that, this conveyor belt keeps going. And then these just stack up underneath each other. Come on, 2 more, and as you can see, those are building up over there. And then this comes over here, gets rotated twice, since right now it's facing the wrong direction. And yeah, this conveyor belt is not needed. This one is though, because it keeps it going in, because before it was stopping right here with this arm hanging out. And as you can see, I simply use a method where once this gets to where it can be welded on, the conveyor belt is able to carry this forward. And you don't need this welder, I just left it here because it takes a while to edit this factory, because every time you test it, there's this thing that has to fill up. You have to wait for those to travel around that long track that goes around that machine. But yeah, this one I actually didn't finish in the episode. I actually finished it after though, just as a note. And I can't replay the performance review, but basically what happens is you go in there, and then the guy starts doing his unintelligible grunting, when suddenly the entire ship is rocked by an explosion. And then you're floating out in space because the throne room literally blows up, and then you see the little emperor's head go, one of his bodyguards' heads go floating by, and then you wake up in somewhere that's near here, and then you actually wake up in here. And yeah, and now we have the resistance campaign, and we have a mission briefing, which I'm gonna do in the next episode. We're gonna do each of these as their own episode, and then this is just where you can create your own experiment. And then you can build your own custom puzzles or download them from the Steam Workshop. But anyway, that's gonna be all for now. I'll see you in the next episode. My name is the Radman. Goodbye.